Hey, Alex here. So, abilities. Now, you guys have seen this ability spreadsheet before. It hasn't changed a whole lot. I'm not going to really go over each ability like we've done in the past. I'm going to kind of like go over this briefly and then kind of like maybe go through lineup and how you can construct it around what kind of scheme you want to run. Obviously, old gen and next gen are going to play differently since the game plays differently. Like Escape Artist, you'll notice the biggest change here from the last time to this time. Escape Artist has gone from S plus to just straight up S tier because its AP's increased. Even at S tier, I think a lot of people are going to run it. Myself, I've been running it. It's still as powerful as ever. You can basically, double team a guy and just run around the end because they're like kind of slow still, with Escape Artist being as powerful as it is. So that's still there. So anyways, it's been brought back down to earth a little bit, even though it's still the best ability in the game. Because it's so expensive, you basically have to tailor your entire offense around it. Your offense is still going to score a lot of points, right? We still have low point wheel routes. Like, you don't really need a lot of like hot route master routes if all you do is like throw low point wheels the whole game, because they're so degenerative, I guess is a good word for them. But anyways, here is the kind of list as it is. I put up Route Tech and Slotomatic up to S tier just because the resurgence and the I guess amount of man coverage I'm seeing online now. Current gen, I heard old gen, I don't know what they want to be referred to as. Man is just even crazier than next gen, which is just wild to me since next gen man's pretty good as it is. So good luck. You really do want your technicians and Slotomatics kind of cancel out those one steps on that. On defense, Acrobat, inside stuff. Now, inside stuff isn't really like a need. It's kind of like a nice to have. Like, if you can just shoot gaps out of your defense, a lot of people run 3-5 wide and shoot gaps super easy out of it. The inside stuff's not really needed. You kind of put that and put to more like pick artist or whatever you want to run. Deep route KO and one step ahead, obviously only for man coverage schemes. Same thing with like deep out zone KO or mid zone KO for zone coverage schemes. Now, that's you can pause the video if you want to look through more of this tier list. I think like useful abilities, everything like B and up, you can use all those. I think they're fine. Below that, you really got to have a specific idea of what you want to run with that card and why you're going to run it. Like Crusher's just a straight upgraded Deflator, and it came out like what's crazy about Crusher is basically the same thing as Deflator. It came out more expensive than Deflator. Nobody ran Crusher. Then EA like basically made Crusher a lot cheaper. And on some cards, it's actually cheaper than Deflator now. So it's kind of like B tier, Deflator, C tier. It's just still weird that we have two abilities. When there's so many different ability options out there for like things they can do in the game, that they made two the exact same thing. It's still questions, right? Like, even though some things do the same thing, like wide receiver apprentice, slot apprentice, tight end apprentice, like a lot of these things, there's like they're different encompassing abilities. So it's just weird that crossover exists. So let's go ahead and take a look at like my lineup. We could talk about between what I'm running right now and what you can run depending on your offense and defense. So on offense, if you have a scrambling quarterback, Escape Artist, right? Escape Artist, pass lead elite. Then you can either use like, a long range Deadeye and stuff, or I just put deep out elite on Cooper Kupp since that's very powerful. You can get a lot of like, just like bailout egg catches with it and like hang on to the ball. It's perfect for like one play beaters because like say you have them beat, but like their deep safety is able to catch up to you and tackle you from behind. Without deep out elite, there's a good chance that it might be knocked out. Whereas with it, you're just gonna hang on to it and be it what and do what you are gonna do. Okay. Otherwise, if you go with something like Hot Route Master, I don't like it. Really depends. Like, are you in bunch? Are you in trips? Are you in like something crazy like 5 wide? Are you under center? If you go like Hot Route Master, Gunslinger on Namath, right? And then so we go here. I think you're still gonna struggle against man coverage. Whereas like with Escape Artist, you can kind of get out and make plays like that against man coverage. You're gonna want some route techs on the field on offense. So we're given what? 5 AP. You can put a post up on your center. Some people are running 2 post ups on their guards. Some crazy people, right? If they run like Hot Route Master and pass lead or set feet lead on like 5 wide, are running post up on the right tackle, center, and left tackle, and then just like making quick reads and throwing the ball quick out of the pocket. Okay. But otherwise, I definitely think route techs are needed. Backfield Master is really nice for the separation it causes, even though it's kind of like doubling down with the Hot Route Master. Backfield Master is a solid ability. You need there's 1 AP on a receiving back, so just FYI, you want a receiving back if you're going to run Backfield Master for those extra hot routes and sharp angle routes. So that's kind of how it set up my offense. With if I had Joe Namath as my quarterback, I'd do post up here at center. I might go with an identifier here, so that would bring me up to 12 Yeah, that would be number 12. And then my last AP would probably be on a route tech, maybe on Jerry Rice right there. So that's what I'd run. Otherwise, short in elite on a tight end is nice to make them cut a little bit better. It is 2 AP. It used to be 1 AP. They increased it. So that's really the offensive options right now. If I were to say what the different ways of running the offense, obviously there's multiple ways. If you're a run first guy, I still think post-ups are important for you. Slot-o-matic, if you have like a slot archetype, is really good for only 1 AP. Definitely want to run that because you can get separation. You can catch the ball actually better. Also a slot-o-matic for the guys in the slot. So definitely add that to slot archetypes. Like I think Joyner is a really nice slot archetype. But there you go. That's kind of how I'd run. You see Playmaker up here. I just think it's super powerful. I don't see a lot of people run it. On old gen, it is way better than current gen or next gen. QB Playmaker, I think, is just too AP intensive to use. But Playmaker, little underrated. Some people do run it, but it's not really huge in the meta. As for defense, there's a lot of AP, right? There's 18 AP to run. Now, I've been running a 4-man pass rush. It depends really depends on what you're going to run, right? If you're running dollar, running 3-5 wide, or 3-5 normal, audible 3-5 wide. Like, if you're running any of these things that you're like, or you're running a loop blitz, something, etc. like that, you won't need the defensive. Like, I run edge threat elites. I run unpredictable inside stuff, right? If you're running those types of defenses, you can basically save all that AP. So I might be running an inefficient defense due to that reason, but I kind of like the 4-man rush. I feel like it holds up well with the inside run since I've subbed in Micah Parsons in the 2-3-6 to my defensive tackle 2. And then so I got 2 inside stuffs to stop the inside run. And then I got edge threat elites, for the under pressure to try and get some random misses. And then like some good sheds on the edge to get home and get sacked. So against a player trying to like bomb me deep, I actually get home at a decent rate. The issue is trying to contain escape artists because contains are still a bit broken, and escape artists is still a little bit powerful. So we got the fastest guys in the field. I think Elroy Hirsch is 97 speed on this squad right now. Yeah, 97 speed. I did have a Rams theme team. I switched to Pittsburgh for the 25. So it used to be 98. I do believe I have a 98 speed. Max Crosby over here. The super suit also adds on to their speed, which is why it is 97 and 97. Nope, this is 97. Raiders 50-50, he'd be 98 speed with 99 acceleration. Just crazy. Elroy Hirsch plays really well, by the way, for anybody who is wondering. His change of direction's huge for containing quarterbacks. Otherwise, I have deep outzone KO on Isaiah Simmons and Taylor Mays. The reason I'm running safeties at corners is if somebody tries to run on me or they catch a ball in the flat, I want to punish them to the maximum extent I can. Now, if you run a man scheme, these guys are not good at it, right? You'd want somebody like Deion Sanders, Marshawn Lattimore. Like when you compare him to Deion Sanders, the biggest difference, which it doesn't really show here, but it kind of does actually, agility, change direction. Deion Sanders' agility is 99. So like those breaks that are going to happen with Deion versus like Taylor Mays, Isaiah Simmons, he's going to be able to stay with the route better than these guys because of the acceleration, the agility, that kind of things that he has over Taylor Mays. Now, Taylor Mays, a little bit slower, obviously, but taller. So I run a zone first scheme. So I want somebody tall, not to get spec caught on. I actually run deep out zone KO. So that way, like if they just throw it up, I go for breakups now. Like if they throw it at one-on-one, unless I'm like I got a guaranteed or like a 2 guys there, or if I got a guaranteed interception, then I'll go for it. Otherwise, I'm just looking to break it up. Like a lot of guys will run those like deep sideline routes and get underneath your cornerback. So I'm looking for the increased reaction and then the ability to knock it out of their hands. And I think it's an okay ability. It's not the glitchiest. A lot of people would rather run acrobats here to make those interceptions because acrobats are kind of like inconsistent in my opinion. Like sometimes it's just light up and get you the craziest things. Other times, like if they low point something, they'll just like watch you go past them. I don't know. It's weird. Acrobats, I wish they were a little bit better, but that doesn't mean they're bad. Okay. So Cam Chancellor here, I got Acrobat on. He plays, I think he's my user. I have Sean Taylor and Ted Hendricks at the safety spots. I leave them blank, but pick artist is always a cheap, beautiful chemistry. I also have 2 Acrobats. There they are at my user spot for you. I also use Isaiah Simmons. Or you saw him at you saw him at the outside spot. Night Train Lane. If I had more AP, I might put him and Acrobat there on my nickel, since Acrobat at nickel has been kind of really nice for me. To stop wheels, I've been like running Mean Joe Green at like a bluff blitz, since that plays wheels all right. So there you go. Otherwise, if you run like a man coverage scheme and like you either blitz hard, like if you're running a 6-1, you'll probably just want under pressure. Edge through elite's nice. It's only 1 more AP than just straight up under pressure. Plus, if they get picked up, you can kind of get home. If you only rush 3 on 6-1 and have Elroy Hirsch and Matt Crosby or somebody else on the edge, They will get some really nice animations. But then you can run like more acrobats, more like, I think deep route knockouts are really powerful. As you saw, they were in my S tier. Otherwise, especially on old gen, one steps. Current gen is or next gen, whatever, is fine with one steps and not as powerful in my opinion. But there you go. That's kind of my thoughts on how you're running your scheme. It really, really depends. But if you don't know what to do, just throw acrobat and pick artist out there. You can never go wrong just going with acrobat and pick artist on defense if you don't know what. Otherwise, inside stuffs on run stopping defensive linemen for 1 AP is always a safe thing to help against the run up the middle against you. No outsiders. If you're like, what about runs outside? No outsiders, I feel like is inconsistent, and sometimes the animation just takes them out of the play too much because the way the game works. I feel like no outsiders is just fine versus glitchy, whereas inside stuff I feel like does a little bit better job. Maybe if he was thicker, he'd be better, but Mean Joe Green, probably the best defensive tackle in the game. So there it is. That's my discussion around abilities and how you should think about them, and how you should set them up for how your scheme runs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If this was helpful, I try and do my best. Please please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.